Breaking news, and when we say breaking, we mean shattering the internet into 1,000 pieces. Chrissy Lampkin, the firecracker reality TV icon who spent years dodging wedding bells and side-eyeing baby talk, just did a complete 180. At 53 years old, she shocked the entire world by becoming a mother for the first time, and now, just days later, her life is hanging by a thread. Yes, you heard that right. The woman who once said marriage ain't a priority is now facing the biggest plot twist of her life. Not just unexpected motherhood, but a life-threatening medical emergency that's got even Dr. Jackie from Married to Medicine clutching her pearls. So what exactly happened after the delivery? Was this pregnancy really a miracle, or something darker? Why is Dr. Jackie suddenly breaking her silence and hinting at complications no one saw coming? Is Jim Jones standing by Chrissy's side, or is he back to his old emotionally unavailable ways? And what secrets are the doctors really hiding? Buckle up, because what started as a surprise baby announcement just turned into the most explosive, postpartum scandal reality TV has never aired. Let's dive into the chaos. Because this story is far from over. Just when you thought the Chrissy and Jim saga couldn't get any messier, the universe said, "Hold my prenatal vitamins." Because now, we're not just talking about another spicy love and hip-hop scandal, we're talking about a 53-year-old first-time mom allegedly fighting for her life in a hospital suite so private, not even the nurses know who's actually footing the bill. And let's not act brand new here. Chrissy Lampkin is no stranger to headlines, side eyes, or raising eyebrows without lifting a finger. This is the same Chrissy who dragged Jim Jones through a decade of will they, won't they, got down on one knee herself like a whole queen with zero patience for nonsense, and told every camera crew within 10 feet that motherhood just wasn't on her vision board. And yet, here we are, baby bottles, blood pressure monitors, and one very, very silent fiancé who hasn't posted a single picture of a pacifier or a hospital wristband. Suspicious? Oh, absolutely. Sources close to the situation, and by close, we mean the hairstylist's cousin's manicurist's friend who once saw Chrissy at Whole Foods are saying this pregnancy wasn't just a surprise, it was practically a medical anomaly. Rumors are swirling that Chrissy may have undergone a series of high-risk fertility treatments overseas, possibly in a hush-hush clinic in Dubai or South Africa, far from the judgmental eyes of American media and even farther from Jim's apparent commitment issues. Of course, none of this is confirmed. But when has that ever stopped the internet? Let's not pretend for a second that the timeline of Chrissy's pregnancy wasn't giving weight. How? Energy. One day she's lounging on a yacht with a cocktail in hand. The next she's reportedly in labor at 3 a.m., surrounded by an elite team of OBGYNs and a doula flown in from Brazil. And now, Dr. Jackie, yes, the Dr. Jackie from Married to Medicine, is stepping into the chat with her pearls clutched and her NDA hanging by a thread, in an exclusive interview that she definitely wasn't supposed to give. Dr. Jackie accidentally let it slip that a high-profile patient over the age of 50 suffered from extreme postpartum complications after giving birth to a miracle baby. The internet didn't even have time to blink before everyone screamed, "That's Chrissy." According to her so-called confidential commentary, the woman in question lost a disturbing amount of blood, had critical blood pressure spikes, and was facing serious internal trauma. Excuse me, what? Internal trauma? We're not talking about stretch marks and sore feet here. We're talking ICU-level complications. The type of emergency that makes hospital staff activate that red alert code you only see in gray is the anatomy finalis. And before you ask, yes, anonymous staff at the unnamed hospital have already begun leaking info like a broken faucet. One nurse, who allegedly assisted during delivery, claimed Chrissy flatlined for 43 seconds and was revived with emergency intervention and a portable defibrillator. She's now reportedly under 24/7 surveillance, surrounded by a medical dream team that includes a cardiologist, a neurologist, and, get this, a fertility specialist still on standby. Why would a fertility doctor still be in the building after the baby's born? We're asking the same question. Meanwhile, social media has lost its mind. Twitter is in full investigation mode. TikTokers are doing frame-by-frame breakdowns of old Chrissy interviews, and Reddit has already constructed an entire conspiracy thread involving Dr. Jackie, Mona Scott-Young, and a mysterious baby nurse named Vanessa who may or may not have worked with Beyoncé. One viral post even claimed the baby looks too light-skinned to be Jim's, sparking a whole other side conversation that nobody needed but everyone is secretly watching. Theories are flying faster than hospital gossip during shift change? Some believe Chrissy used a donor egg. Others say the child was secretly born via surrogate and the hospital emergency is actually something else entirely, like botched cosmetic surgery or a stress-induced breakdown. Wild. Absolutely. But if reality TV has taught us anything, it's that truth is always stranger than fiction. And then there's Jim. The man, the myth, the allegedly absent baby daddy. Fans are demanding answers, and he's offering silence. Not a peep on Instagram. No cryptic tweets. No prayer hands, emoji, nothing, just radio silence from the same guy who once made Ballin' the soundtrack of every club in America. Insiders, and we use that term loosely, are saying Jim has been visiting Chrissy, but only after hours and through a private elevator that bypasses the main lobby. Others say he's been sleeping in the hospital chair next to her bed and crying when he thinks no one's looking. But we've seen this story before, haven't we? The strong, independent woman who finally bends, breaks, and bleeds. While the man who swore he had her back, conveniently forgets his vows were never made official. Fans aren't having it. Jim better be wiping that woman's forehead with rosewater and feeding her soup like a king. One user tweeted. Another went straight savage. If he lets Chrissy go through this alone, I'm never listening to We Fly High again. Savage, but fair. And let's not forget the other messy detail everyone's whispering about the hospital bill. Multiple sources have hinted that Chrissy's VIP medical suite, which reportedly comes with a personal chef and a birthing tub made of Himalayan salt, is running upwards of $40,000 per day. That's not a typo. And who's paying for all this? Is it Jim? Is it Chrissy's love and hip-hop residuals? Is Mona Scott Young secretly filming this entire thing for a Hulu spinoff? One nurse was overheard saying there are camera crews nearby, but not allowed in, suggesting that a documentary deal might already be in the works. Because why let a life-threatening medical crisis go to waste when you can monetize the trauma, right? What makes this even messier is the sudden legal silence coming from Chrissy's camp. Her publicist, who once couldn't stop sending out press releases about wedding rumors, has gone ghost. Calls are going straight to voicemail. Media requests are being politely declined. That's PR speak for something serious is happening, and we can't legally spin it yet. Meanwhile, Dr. Jackie is walking on eggshells, reportedly getting warnings from Bravo executives about what she says next. You'd think this was a White House scandal, the way these professionals are suddenly acting like they signed CII-level clearance forms. And just when you thought the story couldn't spiral any further into chaos. New whispers have begun circling about what really led to Chrissy's sudden medical decline after giving birth. According to someone who allegedly overheard a heated phone call between a hospital administrator and a private medical transport company, there was nearly a secret midnight transfer to another facility because Chrissy's vital signs were so unstable. The hospital feared they couldn't manage her case discreetly. The transport never happened, but the fact that such drastic measures were even on the table paints a terrifying picture. This isn't your run-of-the-mill postpartum recovery. This is crisis mode with celebrity-level discretion, and apparently, even hospital staff had to sign temporary gag orders to keep things from leaking. But let's be real, when has a gag order ever stopped anyone with a burner phone and an extra loud whisper? Meanwhile, Dr. Jackie has been acting more nervous than a cast member at a reunion special with unresolved beef. After the infamous interview aired, she's allegedly been contacted by legal teams requesting clarification on whether she broke patient confidentiality. Some Bravo insiders believe she may be facing a quiet internal review, and her next public appearance has already been postponed without explanation. Funny how the timing of that aligns exactly with this Chrissy situation. Fans have taken to digging into old interviews and podcast episodes where Dr. Jackie talked about high-risk pregnancies, trying to piece together breadcrumbs and decode her every word like she's the Da Vinci Code of medical drama. One Twitter thread with over 50,000 likes suggested that Chrissy may have experienced a rare cardiovascular complication known as peripartum cardiomyopathy, life-threatening condition that can strike in late pregnancy or postpartum, especially in older mothers. Combine that with severe blood loss and high blood pressure, and you're looking at a recipe for disaster. But since no official statement has been released, we're all stuck playing medical detective through breadcrumbs and anonymous tea spillers. Now let's talk about the baby. Yes, the baby. The tiny human at the center of all this drama, who's been wrapped in more secrecy than a royal heir. No name, no gender announcement, no hospital hallway photo with a balloon bouquet. It's like the baby was born into witness. Protection. One nurse reportedly slipped up and referred to the baby as a he during a hallway conversation. But whether that's true or not, no one knows. Another source claimed the baby was placed under observation in the NICU for precautionary reasons but is now doing fine. Of course, doing fine is vague enough to mean anything from healthy and thriving to we can't talk because the lawyers said no. Regardless, this child has entered the world surrounded by more mystery and controversy than most people rack up in a lifetime. Some fans are even speculating that the entire situation is part of a much bigger publicity stunt. Because let's be honest, Chrissy and Jim haven't exactly been headline material in recent years. What better way to stir the pot than with a surprise baby, a health scare, and a suspicious media blackout? And Jim Jones. Oh, he's back in the narrative, but not in the way anyone expected. Allegedly, a well-known hip-hop blogger leaked a voicemail that was supposedly left by Jim just hours after the birth. In the message, a man's voice reportedly sounding like Jim can be heard saying, "I wasn't ready for this. Man, this ain't how I pictured things." The internet exploded within minutes. Was he referring to Chrissy's health crisis? The baby? The responsibility suddenly dropped on him like an unwrapped surprise gift. Fans weren't feeling the hesitation. Many jumped to accuse him of emotional abandonment, while others speculated that he might be spiraling behind closed doors. But here's the kicker: Jim still hasn't publicly confirmed or denied the voicemail. No tweet, no post, no denial. Just the same radio silence, which, at this point, is starting to feel louder than words. The ripple effects of this situation are reaching beyond just celebrity gossip. Medical forums are suddenly buzzing with debates about late-age pregnancies, with professionals and pseudo-experts weighing in on what went wrong and what could have been avoided. Some are using this as a cautionary tale about pushing biological boundaries. Others are praising Chrissy for challenging societal norms and choosing motherhood on her own terms. But the clash of opinions is fierce. One viral comment read, "This is why women over 50 should stick to adopting pets, not babies," while another fired back, "Let's not act like men aren't having kids at 80. Chrissy deserves respect for doing what most wouldn't dare." And somewhere in the middle of that noise, is Chrissy herself allegedly still hospitalized, still recovering, and still silent. But silence doesn't mean stillness, because behind the scenes, there are now murmurs about legal teams circling the story like vultures. Word on the street is that multiple outlets who prematurely publish speculative details about Chrissy's delivery are now receiving quiet cease and desist letters. Journalists are scrubbing posts, YouTube clips are being pulled down, and publicists are scrambling to control the narrative. And what's even more fascinating is the rumor that Mona Scott Young is already pitching a special docuseries centered around Chrissy's miracle journey, with leaked emails hinting at a working title like Against All Odds, The Chrissy Lampkin Story. Some execs reportedly feel it's too exploitative, others think it's gold. But one thing's for sure, this story has legs. And networks are practically tripping over each other, trying to capitalize on the chaos. Even brands are getting pulled into the mix. A luxury baby product company that was rumored to be gifting Chrissy a $5,000 custom bassinet has now quietly backed out of the deal. One rep claimed they prefer to wait until the situation is medically stable. Translation: no one wants to be the face of a PR nightmare if things take a turn. Meanwhile, fans are dissecting every inch of old love and hip-hop footage, trying to find signs of Chrissy ever hinting at motherhood. A clip from season 2 has resurfaced where she casually mentions not being against kids, and just like that, TikTok has declared it a prophetic moment. Memes are flying. Fan theories are evolving. And all the while, the truth about what actually happened in that hospital room remains locked behind high-security doors and nervous glances. As for Jim, his team reportedly canceled 2 scheduled appearances this week, citing personal obligations. Fans are wondering if he's finally stepping up or just trying to hide from the media heat. And some are even questioning whether this baby will finally push them to tie the knot after 2 decades of almost maybe someday vibes. One gossip site claims a secret engagement ceremony was planned for next month, but whether that's real or just wishful thinking is anyone's guess. What's clear is that the public is hungry for answers, and right now, no one's serving the full story. Every day, a new thread unravels, and instead of resolution, we get more mystery, more questions, and more heat. With the chaos swirling, fans are now starting to wonder if what they're witnessing is less of a medical emergency and more of a full-blown celebrity cover-up unraveling in slow motion. Sources who claim to be connected to the hospital say there's been a noticeable uptick in private security, press blockades, and even an unmarked SUV idling outside the staff entrance for hours at a time. One nurse reportedly told a friend that every time Chrissy's room is entered, it's logged and reviewed by an off-site legal team. That's not normal. That's not even celebrity normal. That's something you do when you're preparing for either a massive lawsuit or a scandal so big you want every detail locked down tighter than Fort Knox. The timing is especially curious, considering the whispers that multiple documentary crews have already submitted location requests to the hospital, hoping to get just one exclusive shot of Chrissy being wheeled out or Jim pacing the hallway like a nervous wreck. But thus far, nothing. No public statement, no photos, not even a blurry pap shot through the hospital blinds. It's been total lockdown, which only fuels speculation that the story is far from over, and possibly way bigger than anyone imagined. Meanwhile, insiders are leaking even more shocking claims. One alleged staff member said Chrissy suffered a second medical emergency just 3 days after the birth of a suspected seizure caused by postpartum eclampsia, a rare but dangerous condition where blood pressure skyrockets and causes the brain to misfire. If true, this means Chrissy didn't just have one complications, she's had multiple, back-to-back crises that have kept doctors on edge and the family in panic mode. And yet, the silence continues. No pictures of the baby. No smiling selfies with hospital gowns. No proud new dad Instagram posts from Jim. Just vague whispers and fans playing detective on social media. One Reddit thread even theorized that the baby might not have been Chrissy's biologically, suggesting instead a secret surrogate scenario that went sideways and is now being covered up with legal gymnastics. Another poster claimed to have screenshots from a Facebook group where someone claiming to be Chrissy's cousin hinted that this was a planned announcement gone wrong and that the baby was supposed to be introduced in a glamorous rollout, not a hush-hush hospital scramble. And while all this is happening, Jim is being dragged harder than ever before. Fans are furious at his silence, accusing him of letting Chrissy go through this alone after everything she sacrificed for him. The man who took over a decade to even consider proposing is now Mia during what might be the most dangerous chapter of Chrissy's life. And sure, there are quiet reports that he's been present behind the scenes. But in the public's eyes, presence doesn't matter if you're not showing up. A few grainy images of someone who might be Jim slipping into the hospital at 2 a.m. isn't enough. The people want action. They want declarations. They want proof that this man, who's built his brand on loyalty and ride-or-die anthems, is actually living up to that image when it counts. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. Jim's whole brand is Balin, but the only one showing strength right now is Chrissy. Step up or step aside, sir. But let's step back and look at the bigger picture. This entire ordeal has sparked massive online debates about women's reproductive rights, ageism, and the dangers of glamorizing high-risk pregnancies. Some argue that Chrissy should be praised for choosing motherhood on her own timeline, while others believe her decision was reckless and endangering. Medical experts have quietly weighed in through anonymous blogs and comments, warning about the real risks of childbirth past 50, but others push back, saying the focus should be on advancing care, not limiting choices. The debate has gone mainstream now, with daytime talk shows and morning news panels weighing in, turning what started as celebrity gossip into a national conversation. People are no longer just watching for drama, they're watching for the message, the fallout, the implications. And speaking of fallout, brands that were once aligned with Chrissy are now allegedly reconsidering their partnerships. A beauty brand that previously featured her in a campaign has reportedly paused future ads. A podcast deal she had been in talks for is now on indefinite hold. And Jim, whose image has already taken hits over the years for his reluctance to commit, is now facing even more scrutiny from fans who feel like he's failed Chrissy during a moment that required absolute devotion. A few entertainment insiders claim this entire situation could be the beginning of a quiet blacklisting from certain circles, especially if more details emerge, suggesting mishandling, deception, or intentional PR manipulation. But here's where it really gets wild. A recent leak from someone claiming to work for a production company says there's already a sizzle reel being developed based on this saga, complete with dramatic reenactments, voiceovers, and interviews from anonymous insiders who supposedly witnessed everything from the pregnancy journey to the delivery room disaster. The pitch, allegedly titled When the Cameras Stop Rolling, has already sparked bidding interest from a major streaming platform. Whether or not Chrissy has signed off is still unclear, but if true, this could signal an attempt to reclaim the narrative and turn tragedy into content. It wouldn't be the first time reality stars turned personal trauma into profit. But in this case, it's rubbing some the wrong way. Is it bravery, exploitation, or just survival in the public eye? And yet, amid all the noise, the only thing that remains undeniably clear is this: Chrissy Lampkin is in the fight of her life. Whether this baby was a surprise miracle or a carefully planned journey kept secret for dramatic effect, the toll it's taken on her body and reputation is undeniable. She's not just recovering from childbirth, she's recovering from public scrutiny, a media circus, and the lingering question of whether the man she's loved for years is finally ready to step up when it counts. Fans are still holding their breath for the first official statement, the first photo, the first sign that Chrissy is on the road to healing. Until then, we're left with fragments, whispers, and a million unanswered questions. Is this the end of a messy love story finally, finding purpose through parenthood? Or is it just the beginning of another public unraveling, where loyalty, health, and legacy are all up for grabs? And when the cameras eventually start rolling again, because you know they will, what version of this truth will we be shown? Will Chrissy rise from this like the fighter fans believe her to be? Or will this chapter redefine everything we thought we knew about her and Jim? Either way, the silence won't last forever, and when the truth comes out, it won't just shake the internet, it might just rewrite the entire narrative of one of reality TV's most complicated couples. So now that you've heard the jaw-dropping, nerve-wracking, absolutely wild ride that is Chrissy Lampkin's unexpected journey into motherhood at 53, what do you think is really going on here? Is this a case of a brave woman defying the odds and embracing motherhood on her own terms, or is there more to the story than anyone's willing to admit? Do you believe Jim Jones is truly stepping up behind the scenes, or is his silence speaking louder than any post ever could? And let's not forget Dr. Jackie. Did she accidentally spill too much, or was this all part of a bigger media game? We want to hear your theories, your reactions, and your takes. Drop them in the comments, filter, no holding back. And if you're just as hooked as we are and need the real tea as it boils, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a twist in this developing saga. Because trust us, this story is far from over, and when the truth finally explodes, you'll want to be here for it first. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and remember, in the world of celebrity secrets, nothing is ever what it seems.